Brewbound exclusive.
All right, Chris here with brewbound.com, and today I am joined by a very special guest here on the rooftop La Birreria at Eataly in New York. Nicola, thank you for joining me.
Thank you very much.
So, what's this like, man? Italian guy here in New York City. You're one of 3 partners here at Eataly, sort of living the dream in the craft beer world. Tell me a little bit about it.
It's amazing for me, also because I'm not only a partner of the business, but I'm a beer lover. I started in Italy with beer, in the beer department, and I got the beer buyer, and then I started opening up our Eatalys, and I opened up with the one in Bologna, and then I came here to open this one in New York. So for me, it's 2 times nice, because first of all, it's my business. I open up my business, and second of all, I'm finally developing a concept all around beer, which for me is amazing. Okay, now we have 12 stores. We have 6 in Italy, 5 in Japan, and 1 here in New York.
Okay, and they're mostly like markets where you get your produce and all that stuff, as well as restaurants, or explain that to me.
They are all different,
okay,
because we get bored and do all the time all the same stuff.
Right.
So we have 3 or 4 very, very close to like in New York, more or less the same dimension. One actually is twice bigger.
Okay.
And we do more or less the same. Then we have 1 incredible small in Bologna, which is actually a bookstore.
Right.
And we cook something in the middle. In Milano, it's very, very small. It's only kind of a boutique. You can only buy, you cannot eat.
It's a 3.5 barrel brewery with 2 7-barrel uni tanks and no bright beer tanks, meaning right after fermentation, this beer, very, very fresh, goes right in the serving vessel, or firkin, where we dose in the yeast, it recarbonates, and we serve it right out of the firkin just after fermentation. There's Brooks, he's the head brewer of Eataly. This is Chris, and Brooks apprenticed at Teo's Brewery, at Leo's Brewery, and at Dogfish. And learned with all 3 of us. And he's a great brewer, and he's going to be the guy when you come through this window that'll be in here making the beer.
I worked at Birreria Borgo, which is one of the participating breweries for the Birreria, along with Belladan, which is the other Italian brewery, and Dogfish Head from Delaware. I started working for Birreria Borgo about 2.5 years ago. And after working there for a little bit, this kind of project started to be a little bit more than a rumor. So Leonardo asked me if I wanted to be the resident brewer, the everyday, day-to-day brewer here, and of course I accepted.
I think the idea in the brewing process here in the Rooftop Brewery will be always to combine all the American and the Italian beer culture and all the Italian and American ingredients. So it will be nice to make always this combination, just for making always a marriage between the US beers, American beers, and Italian beers.
Everybody back in Europe is talking about you guys and all these new things you do, which is awesome. So that is very important. Second of all, I believe this is going to be a little different, because this is going to be a place where American beer and Italian beer are going to meet each other, and they are very different. They are very, very different. The way we're doing beer right now is much more like a Sam Calagione way to do. It's much more, meeting different elements together, like wine, beer, fruit, oak, a lot of age. While here we have maybe more hop, more bitter.
Today we were just making a small trip in the store at the bottom floor, and we were picking the most interesting ingredients in the place. So we found a special kind of fruit called the ugly fruit. It was like a crossing between a grapefruit and a lemon, but a little bit sweeter than grapefruit and a little less sour in respect of the lemon. This is very nice, very aromatic, and we found also a good ginger, so we decided to make this special like light amber and about 7% of alcohol beer with aromatized with the ginger, with the ugly fruit, and we will add also some honey, and we will add orange honey and eucalyptus honey, so for giving this special character.
And the idea there is so the ginger, you know, and the ugly fruit were probably grown here somewhere in the States, and then but the eucalyptus honey is from Italy, and the eucalyptus honey works in concert with the ginger, and then the orange blossom honey, also from Italy, works in concert with the ugly fruit. So all the ingredients are speaking to each other.
We were talking with Sam for this big project, and Sam, after 1 second, we were telling about this stuff. He said, before we finishing to tell the story, he said yes.
I'm in.
I'm in. And so that's how the project started about.
And then we love the idea of marrying high-end food with high-end beer. I mean, in general, when we sat down with Mario and Joe Bastianich, we're on a rooftop, very high up, Italian. What do you think of as high in Italy as the Alps? So the food, Mario's menu, is really about celebrating the Alps cuisine. Like the beers, very rustic and simple ingredients. All of these beers are unfiltered, unpasteurized, but also naturally carbonated. So it's almost like slow beer, you know, combined with slow food.
The brewing knowledge we have here, having Sam Calagione, Teo Musso, and Leonardo Di Vincenzo, will allow us to be creative, experiment, but also not overdo things or do things that, you know, won't turn out to be, you know, too great. I mean, I think that all three of the participating breweries in the project have experimented enough in their respective brewing careers that we're going to be okay with experimenting a little bit at a time, not overdoing things, and doing new creative brews.
Yeah, we think this is the only brew pub that we know of, at least in Italy or the U.S., where 100% of the brewery production goes into beer engine casks. So it's a pretty unique feature about this brewery. And the Birreria Rome will probably have some cask beer, but and other, right? Regular, some other more keg beer, right? Well, we serve kegs from our breweries and other great Italian and American craft breweries, regular kegs, but those come from off-site.
Brewing cask ale is, of course, a little different because you can't really you really have to count on your raw ingredients, all your spices. They have to be super good ingredients because I believe that CO2 sometimes helps the beer a little bit and its aromas and things. And when you have a lightly carbonated beer served at a little warmer temperature, you really need to have very good raw materials.
Yeah, let's go out and look at, you know, the food's going to be amazing. We're confident the beer is going to be darn good, but both are going to pale in comparison to the view. Right. This is just a really magical spot. So very simple, elegant setup. We have a friend of mine, Mauro, owns a beautiful design company in Florence. Teo did the design on the fonts and this artwork, and then my friend in Florence made these hand-stamped beer engine shields. But the casks are in a special refrigerator underneath, and that is kept a little less cold than regular keg beer at cellar temperature, and they're naturally hand pulled without the introduction of CO2. So I mean, I think internationally we all believe that a rising tide floats all ships, and if we can help each other symbolically with collaboration, but every day in terms of introducing more people to how great craft beer pairs with great food, that's the most that's the part of the job I love the most. I don't want to speak for you guys, but that's what I'm most excited about.